10 seconds. Hello again, Bulldog Nation. We welcome you back to Greenwood, Arkansas. Game 2 of this 5A West doubleheader with the Harrison Golden Goblins. And high drama for the Bulldogs in Game 1 as the bats stayed pretty quiet for the most part for both teams. We went to the extra innings in a scoreless tie, and the Bulldogs prevailed in the 8th inning as a leadoff double for Austin Bircher. Holland with a bunt more or less to try to get him to third, ends up being a perfect bunt down the third baseline. He gets a single. Skaggs comes up, flies out to center, but not deep enough to score Bircher, who moved over to third on the bunt. Holland swiped the bag, and then Ty Holt came up and had a game-winning walk-off double RBI, and the Bulldogs win Game 1 1-0. And they stay now up tied atop the 5A West as Mountain Home was pummeled 10-0 by Van Buren over in Game 1 over there. So the Greenwood now at 4-1 is in a tie with the Bombers in conference play, 11-4 overall. Mason Moore will get the baseball here in Game 2 for the Bulldogs. Moore is 3-0 on the season. He's got 16 and a third innings pitched, 22 strikeouts, which, of course, is second on the team. Carnes with a 10 strikeout performance in Game 1 now has 44 on the season. Moore comes in with 22 Ks and surrendered 7 free passes to his opponents. Harrison will bring their first baseman from Game 1. Garen Crockett will start, a lefty. Crockett, if you'll recall, last year when we were at Harrison, we got off the bus and we roughed this guy up a little bit, who started Game 1 against us last year. So see if the Bulldogs can bring back that magic from last season's facing this guy. Umpires have switched, so we'll have a new guy behind the plate. And that's always something you have to kind of feel out, Keith, and see how things are going to go with that home plate blue.
Well, it takes me and you a while to learn somebody's strike zone, and now we got to adjust. Mm-hmm. Of course, we're usually right anyway, but you've said it more than once, and I agree with you every time you say it. You can't sweep if you don't win the first one. So whatever momentum we didn't get, or whatever momentum is not there now, what at least you have is a sense of urgency from Harrison, like, oh, no, we're about to be swept. And you can take at least a breath that we won the first one. Now let's just go play baseball. The first one's the hardest.
And Keith, and Ty, of course, your boy, he's a freshman and got the walk-off win, but he's still young. And he kind of brings that almost a class clown energy to the dugout, a la what your oldest one, Peyton, would bring as well. So you like to hope maybe he's in there kind of clowning around and getting the guys jovial, getting the spirits up a bit. I know he's just a freshman, but there's no problem with the go-ahead. When you're the catcher, you still got to have a little bit of a leader role.
Well, I mean, who else do you have? They're all quiet guys.
Right.
They're all unassuming. They're great guys. They're great kids. I mean, I don't know if you could ask for a better group of kids.
No.
Brewer's done a great job. The parents at home have done a great job. Those are all great kids. They're just quiet. None of them are just flamboyant. If you take Pettigrew, Skaggs, Mitchell, and Bircher, I don't know if you put them in a room if they talk to anybody.
No,
I mean,
I agree with that.
And it's just baseball's different, and you don't want to be raw, but you want to have energy that people feed off physically. So hopefully Ty he's not shy. He's not afraid to talk. And to be honest, the thing that's probably helped more than anything is that the juniors and seniors have been so good at saying, look, this kid can help us win. Let's treat him like one of us. And a lot of times you don't get that from your upperclassmen. There's been a lot of upperclassmen look down on younger guys that get to play. And credit to Brewer and these upperclassmen. They've done a great job. They're really a good team. They've got to find their energy, and they've got to press on every game.
I would say Scott Holland would be another guy that's got high energy guy, and of course he had a great game, went 2 for 3. Not in the lineup here in Game 2. You'll see Bircher go to right, Mitchell's in center, Skaggs out in left, Carnes will play third base, Morgan's at short, Jackson Cole's at second, Pettigrew at first, Holt will catch, and his battery mate on the bump, as we talked about, is Mason Moore. Today's game being brought to you in part by our Grand Slam sponsors, JH Automation Solutions, Craig Gigerich State Farm, Duck's Body Shop, Freedom Roofing, MSG Waste, Shirley's Tax Service, Taylor Family Vision, Top Notch Roofing, and Virtue Energy Services. The Golden Goblins put Garen Crockett on the mound. He is in the 3-hole today. So it'll be Blaine Walker. He is in right field. Peyton Reese at short. Garen Crockett pitching. Ben Estes bats cleanup. He's their third baseman. Cooper Graham's the designated hitter in Game 2 here. Grady Benton, their second baseman, bats sixth. Baylor Barton enters the Game 2 here at first base. He's in the 7-hole. Gavin Phillips in center field bats 8th. And Lee Catt, their catcher this game, will bat 9th.
You know, the thing I like about the energy, Ty hits the walk-off, and you know, it was different than Cole. Cole's was to you clinch a series. You beat a series, and I like the fact that it's just Game 1. I mean, you can get excited, whatever, but you're not going to go out and celebrate because it's only half the job is done.
That's right.
You want to do a walk-off for Game 2 to sweep, now you can go out there and celebrate and get crazy. But, you know, the whole job, the only stat that matters at the end of the day is the win and loss at the end of the game.
Well, and you saw that, Keith, whenever the ball hit and the run scored, and they came off the field, they got in a huddle, they walked out there towards the bullpen and had their post-game chat. There was no water dousing and what have you, and you're right, that's the mentality that you saw from the kids is we still got business to take care of. Left-handed bat, and Mason Moore bounces the first one in for ball 1.
Ooh, that kind of Ty's going to have to walk that one off. That
got him in the nether regions.
And again, Moore's so hard to catch because he's got so much movement with his balls. Even his fastball moves. He throws a two-seamer that cuts. He's got so much movement. And
there was a movement with Peyton, or with Ty's as well there on that one. That thing hit a little short of the plate and bounced into the business of Ty Holt, and he'll shake it off. Luckily, he's still young. Left-handed batting, Blaine Walker. Here's the 1-0 from Moore. That's in there for a called strike. I don't know what else you want to get right there. That's the best pitch he may see today. Here comes the 1-1. A little bit of movement on that. A little low, 2-1.
And Mason's kind of like an old AM radio. You got to dial it in just a second. You know, his game speed is a little bit different than his warm-up speed. You know, like even that ball there is set up away, and he throws it across the plate inside. It moves so much. It's hard. He's just got to dial it in a little bit.
3-1 now to Blaine Walker, their leadoff batter. I like Moore's action out there. That wind-up's old school to me. I don't know what the deal is. It just looks that way. Inside, and he walked him. A leadoff walk for the Golden Goblins. Here's Peyton Reese. He's in shortstop for him here in game number 2. A right-handed bat.
When we talk about it, you want to make them earn it. You don't want to give them anything. I mean, you hold a team to a few run or a few hits. Well, those hits mean a little bit more if they've already got runners on base that they didn't earn.
And here's Moore up on top from the stretch. Checks the runner, squaring the bunt. It's back to Moore. He'll come off the mound, complete the throw, and get the out at first. The sacrifice was good as Walker moves up. 1-3 on the sacrifice bunt.
Pitcher number 24,
Garen Crockett now. He's their pitcher, a left-handed bat.
When this early in the game, you take your out. I mean, whatever happens here, you're fine with because you got to expect that you're going to score some runs. You're not going to just have one run like you did last game. That would be the expectations.
And that one's inside to Crockett. 1 ball. Top of the first here, game 2. Bulldogs won game 1, 1-0 in extra innings. 8th inning. There's one ripped, but it's pulled foul. 1-1 now to Crockett. I want to say hey to Kennis, who's got us tuned in. That's Tony Sandifer's kid. So glad you're getting to watch this. Yeah. Moore's up on top, the 1-1. And called strike on the outer half. The deliberate strike call from this blue as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Moore from the stretch checks the runner at second. It's Walker. And that one bounced in. Good job of Holt bouncing over and blocking that one. 2-2. Keeps the runner at second. The leadoff walk from Walker. He was sacked, bunted over by Reese. And Crockett's got an RBI opportunity here. Their pitcher. He'd like to help himself out. There's a one pulled foul. Coach over at first. That might be Coach Gross. I'm not sure. Or Cross or King, rather, over there at first base. Couldn't make the play. 2-2 again. Walker gets his lead at first base, or at second base, rather. And Moore checks on him. The Bulldog hurler brings it home. Over but low, full count. Close. Top of the first, one out. Game 2 of this twin bill. 7 innings will play unless there's free baseball again. This one's hit to center. Mitchell came in a step, backs up, finds it. They're not going to test his arm. Brings a rocket into Morgan, and there's 2 down. This is Ben Estes now, their third baseman. Right-handed bat. We'll see if Mason Moore can get around the leadoff walk here and strand a runner. Well hit ball from Crockett, just right to Mitchell. He had to retreat a bit, but he found it, no problem. Still clouds in the sky. Hadn't seen the sun in a while. 6:56 was our first pitch time, and the first one's in there for a called strike to Estes.
And we talk about these double headers. You got to start them at 4:30. Otherwise, you imagine what time Harrison will get back if this goes long.
52 degrees here in game 2. That ball's fouled over towards third base. He's in a hole, 0-2. The wind still pretty brisk across from left field to right field foul pole, straight across, about 15 miles an hour, gusting up to 26. It's cold out there. It's like a British Open. I feel like we're at Turnberry. Good job of Holt to block that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball was outside.
I'm sure I'd like to ask Ty, but I'm sure there's some pitchers that you just know that the ball's going to drop and be in the dirt, which he gets a lot of swing and misses because that ball does it. He has to trust Ty to be able to block that.
Woo! There's some gas and got Estes swinging a miss. And Mason Moore works around a leadoff walk. They strand a runner out there at second base. No score for Harrison. Greenwood Bulldogs come to bat in the bottom of the first when we return on the Sports Hog 103.5. I'm one of these days I'm going to learn to throw the legal ID thing out. We'll pause 10 seconds. I never get to say that. Like I said it one time to Jessica back in the day.
You can pause one time to me, and yeah.
The legal ID. Minute, yes. Right.
So, Game Changer give that ball an error, but the official on the radio gave it a hit. Gave the Peyton's hit a hit.
You're saying Elson said it was a hit?
Yes. And so did ESPN. ESPN gave it a hit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wonder which one's official.
I'm sure they'll go by this for the Arkansas stats.
Oh, yeah.
Have a little bit more velocity. It's good.
Yes, that's exactly right.
That's good.
We welcome you back to Greenwood Baseball Diamond. Bulldogs and Golden Goblins here on a 5A West doubleheader. Greenwood wins game 1. We're going to the bottom of the first inning. It'll be Braden Skaggs to lead it off for the Bulldogs, then Ty Holt, Grant Carnes. Brady Pettigrew, Jackson Cole, Austin Mitchell. Zach Zitzman's the DH. He bats in the 7 hole. Austin Bircher, and then Brady Morgan in the 9 hole for the Bulldogs. They're going to face the lefty in Mr. Garen Crockett.
And we talked about it. He's got a little bit more velocity, which should align more with Greenwood's hitters, and he's got more of a traditional arm slot, which means he's probably not going to have as much movement as the previous pitcher did coming from that, 3/4 arm slot.
Skaggs leading off, our left fielder. First pitch is just outside, a little low, ball 1. Good eye. Bulldogs tied for the conference lead now with Mountain Home losing at Van Buren in game 1 at 4-1. That's an over but low, 2-0.
Mount Home lost to Van Buren?
Yeah, 10-0. 9 unearned runs.
Weren't they giving us some slack when we were saying that Greenwood was vying for the top of the...
Yeah, they did wear out Harrison, though, pretty bad. But we're tied now with them. And they're going to call strike on the outside black. But, yes, we were getting some heat.
Again,
2 balls and a strike to Skaggs.
If you take care of business, then
2-2.
The runs don't matter. The only time the runs matter is if you have a tie at the top, and then it's what run against or run scored. And
the 2-2's low, and Skaggs has got a full count on him. I like to see him get aggressive here.
That's the thing that Skaggs and Holt, I'll talk about after this pitch.
Here it is. And that was a chopper towards first base. Gobbled him up. First baseman had to try to find it, and then he pitched it to he tossed it to the pitcher who came over to cover, and Skaggs beats it out. He'll reach on the error.
Well, that's having a first baseman that's not usually there. The pitcher's usually the first baseman. And, we talked about what I was about to say earlier is Skaggs and Holt are so patient that if you're a pitcher, and you're going to have to throw a bunch of pitches to get them out. And we've seen that time and time again this year with Skaggs and Holt. And the person that benefits probably most from it is Carnes.
We talked about that's Baylor Barton over at first. And I think if he had just gathered it, we've got a balk. We sure do. We've got a balk on the pitcher, and that's going to let Skaggs move up to second base.
And Paul's going to tell him what he did wrong, and he wouldn't have called it if he didn't see it. He probably reached in his glove and took his ball out. That's what he looks like he's telling him. Is that you can't, once the ball's in your glove, you can't take it out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So now Skaggs over to second. Holt's got an RBI opportunity now. Hadn't even seen a pitch yet. But I'm thinking on the play at first, I thought Barton could have got there and beat him if he just would have kept the ball. But instead, he could have dove for first with it. Instead, he tried to pitch it over to the pitcher to no avail. Well, here we go. First one to Holt. He's showing bunt. It's upstairs for ball 1.
Well, Holt's a really good bunter, and I say that because I've made sure he's a good bunter. Now, he'll probably bunt this one back to the pitcher. He'll bunt and miss. Something bad's going to happen, but 9 out of 10 times I'll pick him to bunt in a situation like this.
1 ball count. Crockett up on top, checks Skaggs at second. He'll come home with it. And that one's a little high, ball 2. It looked tasty, but it was upstairs.
Again, we're still learning his zone, too. We're still in the process of learning the
and Coach Brewer over at third goes through the signs with his rain slicker on. What's going on over there?
We'll have to have a conversation about that.
Looks like the Morton Salt girl over there. Paint that thing yellow. What's going on?
I don't know.
Where's our athletic director? Surely we've got better swag than that thing.
I didn't think you could wear a coat in the
you can't.
Box.
2 balls to Holt. Boy, I hope we win. Those cuts are going to be real bad if we don't win this game. That one's fouled back out. 2-1. And
it may be you give him one chance to swing and then let him bunt.
Oh, Carnes out on deck. 2 balls and a strike to the Greenwood catcher, Ty Holt. Skaggs out at second. Reached on an error, moved up on a balk. And Holt looks at one just upstairs. 3-1.
Well, he's established that zone, and we talk about Skaggs and Holt and even Carnes. They're so patient. Once you show them the zone, they'll very seldom chase it out of that zone.
And I think there's some barking from the first base dugout on the strike zone, and already a warning being issued. Looks like to the Harrison dugout.
Wouldn't it be booing if it's a goblin? Because dogs bark. You can say some booing. There's some booing from.
Yeah, they're booing. They're trying to scare. Yeah, ghoulish behavior. Right. 3-1 to Holt. And that one gets through the catcher's wickets. That's going to allow Skaggs to run up. It's a walk to Holt, and he'll make a big turn. In the old days, we'd just send him in softball. We'd send him to second right there in the old fast dog
Well, I'm
days.
sure Holt was – I don't think he's touched second this year. Right. I think he's had 1 double, so he's got to be on second. But they're going to send a courtesy runner in for him. We see it's Holland.
Yeah, that's Scott Holland going to come in and run for Holt. And here's Grant Carnes. So Greenwood already with high action here with runners at the corners, nobody out. An error, a walk, a balk that moved up Skaggs. All kinds of action. The only thing we're missing now is a Oppo Taco 3-run dinger from Carnes right here. Hit Crockett up on top. The lefty comes set, checks on Holland over at first base, and throws over there. And Holland's back, no problem.
I like our chances because he's gonna be hard to double. Sometimes he hits the ball so hard that you make it easy on the middle infield, and then again, I like the fact if he hits it hard that you have a chance to reach on an error.
That's right. Bottom of the first, no score. Bulldogs in business here. They'll throw over to first. Holland a little later getting back that time. That was closer.
Well, you can't dive in the air because that's where they get you is on that tag. You got to make sure you dive towards the back part of the bag and get to the ground. Pretend that ball's a grenade. You want to stay as far away from it as possible.
Carnes waits on the first pitch. Here it comes. It's upstairs, ball one. I'd keep throwing over to first base, too. I wouldn't want to throw anything to Carnes.
I can't. I've lost the ball. This time of day here at this field, I can't see the ball leave his hand and go to first. Can
right.
you? Can you see?
Well, we're in the netting. I can. Yeah, but I've got your visions precedes itself. They're going to throw over.
Well, I'm a lot older than you.
Well, that's true, but you've always been a lot blinder than me since we were little.
Yes.
I mean, those glasses you had on in '79 for the Bears was thicker than bottle caps.
They said I could see into the future.
One ball to Carnes. That's in there for a called strike. Woo! We were undefeated at 1980 season.
The A's?
No, the Bears.
The Bears, yeah.
Rusty Cohen.
Blue and white?
Yeah. I didn't play much because I was terrible.
My wristbands went from my wrist to my elbow.
Yeah, right. They throw over. Holland's back. One ball, one strike here in the top of the first, or bottom of the first, rather.
Well, I know that the Harrison coach was frustrated with the zone, but he didn't change the zone. All of those pitches could have been a strike if you have a different umpire, but if he's established that, we see a base hit.
And maybe kept Carnes a little high chopper that the shortstop kind of gave up on, thinking Estes was going to get it, and he kind of gave up on it. It got through. It's an RBI infield single for Grant Carnes as Skaggs comes in to score.
We'll take it.
Absolutely. Holland moves up to second, and Carnes with an infield single RBI.
You notice there's a little bit more energy coming from this side of the field.
Yes.
I mean, a win will usually do that, but
yes,
you can't ask for it. Coach shouldn't have to ask for it after the game or say, hey, we didn't. The guys got to know we need this to be elite. We don't have 8 Division I like
That's
some
right.
of the teams you're going to face in the state tournament. You have to have energy.
Pettigrew, first pitch swinging. It's to the second baseman. It took him to the bag, and then he drops it as he tried to flip to shortstop covering. Everybody's safe. Oh, baby. We're loaded up here in the bottom of the first inning. Pettigrew going to reach on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, we need to let Sandifer and Coach Brewer put them in a room together right now. Sandifer was waving his arm like just giving Brewer a look like, why aren't you sending him? Why aren't you sending him?
Nobody out. Bases loaded for Jackson Cole.
Do you have Sandifer in that? If it's Sandifer versus Brewer?
Yes. Crockett. First pitch is low and got away from the catcher, but not far away.
You said that quickly. Are you sure? I mean,
I don't know. Brewer's wiry. You talking about like in a fist fight or a game of Rochambeau?
Let's just say MMA. Let's just say we just let him go. No holds barred. You just can't punch in the back of the neck.
Tony's it'd definitely be a different weight class because Sandifer's going to be in the heavyweight division. Of course, he's lost a lot of weight. Looks good out there.
We'll let Coach Brewer wear that coat.
Tony's one of the few that got married and lost weight. Yeah. Look at us three. I'm counting Sean Holland in that. Cates goes out to talk to the pitcher. I'm not sure what that was about. It's a 1-ball count. The bases are loaded still. We're in the bottom of the first. Greenwood's got one across. A chance to blow this thing open early. Here's Jackson Cole, our second baseman. And that's over but low.
Well, everybody knows marital stress peaks in your 20 to 27th year of marriage.
Right. Wow. I'm getting close to that. 2-ball count. Outside. 3-0.
I made those stats up, by the way. In case anyone's listening, they're getting scared because they're in year 19. I made that up.
No place to put him. Got to come with a strike or an RBI walk for Jackson Cole. And it's in there for a called strike. I'd take 2 as well.
Oh, I know. I still flinch. And he's going to put it in play hard because that's what he does.
Here comes the 3-1 to Jackson Cole. It's in the air, and it's in play, but, it is caught. Wow. Over-the-shoulder catch. They're going to tag it third. I like that. Holland's going to score. Over to third goes Carnes. He was going to score as the throw came home and went to the backstop, but Coach Brewer shut him down, and it's an RBI for Jackson Cole nonetheless.
Well, whether
Sack
it was
fly.
Holland or Brewer, whoever read that right, the guy that caught it wasn't square to home, so you had an extra couple steps to take off and go, and I thought that was a great play by them. Plus, Cole gets a sack fly now.
Pettigrew is at second base. Carnes at third. One down. And here's Austin Mitchell. That's upstairs, ball one. RBI for Colts, 2-0 Greenwood. Crockett up on top. Guerin brings it home. Swing and a miss from Mitchell. 1-1. Guerin Crockett. The Goblins hurler, lefty. Up on top, comes home. In the dirt. 2-1 now.
And we've seen their catcher. That's two balls that he's done well at blocking with a runner at third that probably saved them a run.
This is a kid that was out in right field in game one. Is Lee Catt. Made a nice catch. Swing and a miss. Fastball blew it by Mitchell. 2-2 now to the Greenwood center fielder. Runners at second and third for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the first. Already two across. Already a couple of errors on the Goblins. Just missed upstairs and high, maybe, and inside maybe a bit. Full count.
And he's been consistent with
Yep,
that.
agreed.
I mean, he might call one of those the rest of the game, but he's probably not.
Zitzman out on deck. Mitchell fouls this one right back at us. Hearing some good energy from the Bulldogs dugout. They're active here in the bottom of the first, already two across. We were in a scoreless tie in extra innings in game one. This one's quite the opposite. Here's Austin Mitchell waiting on the 3-2. Upstairs, and he walked him. They're loaded up again for the Bulldogs. And Sleepy Zitzman a chance to get wide awake here and blow open this scoreboard. And the coach is going to come out for Harrison. That's not their head coach, so maybe a pitching coach, if you will.
Well, he's got to get him dialed in because if that's the scouting report, they like to stay with their starters as long as possible. We saw what happened. Greenwood got a little life when they brought in a righty. Then you got to stay with this guy as long as you can.
Yeah, and maybe that's the formula. You saw the lefty from Russellville that beat us in conference in game two. Bulldogs, I guess just by the numbers, have struggled a bit against left-handed pitching just in conference play for sure.
Is it too early to say that lefties have our number?
It's not. I mean, our only conference loss was to a lefty that was decent. I mean, we put their ace in his place,
Sophomore,
if you will.
Young guy, right? Yeah.
I'm a poet and didn't know it.
For sure.
They're going to leave a Guerin Crockett in, and Zitzman's going to get to face this in the lefty-lefty battle. Zach's our DH. Bases loaded. Carnes, an RBI single. He's over at third. Petty reached on a fielder's choice. He's at second. And Mitchell just walked. He's at first base. Zitzman digs in from the left side. Come on, Zachary. Here's the first one. Outside. Good job back there from Cat to keep the runners at bay and to dive out for it. One ball to Zach Zitzman. Triple Z, his initials. Sleepy.
Nolan Souza just hit a grand slam for the Razorbacks.
Nice. The other Hawaiian guy. Zitzman fouls this one back out of play towards the soccer pitch at Smith Robinson Stadium. 1-1. Softball still going hard over there. The Lady Bulldogs pounding on the Lady Goblins over there in softball. I'll get an update from McAdams here in a minute. Here's a 1-1 to Zitzman. And he chops it back towards the pitcher. He'll go home to force Carnes at the plate. And there's two down.
Good job of Carnes of kind of pulling up at the end. The catcher was standing right on top of it. Usually you have they treat it like a first baseman because you're not going to have to make a tag, and he was standing directly in the middle of home plate.
Zitzman gets there on the fielder's choice. Base is still loaded, and here's Austin Bircher.
Oh, and their coach is going to argue that maybe he didn't have a play. He wasn't even close to making a play to first base.
When Carnes kind of got wrapped up with the catcher, and that's exactly what he's saying. He maybe had a double play action.
No. It's his job to clear the plate and clear the playing area because the runner has the right to run through the bag, and that's all he did. And for that coach to sit out there and gripe, it's borderline now that you're just whining.
Sure.
Frivolously.
Yeah. It's a big word.
What did he say?
He got his 2 cents worth. Now he's still letting home plate blue know about it.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just baseball. What do you want Carnes to do? Magically, you'll get out of the baseline, not go touch home. I mean, the catcher's job is to get out of the way, not stand over home plate.
Yeah, once you catch the ball, you should have been bouncing out in front of the plate and throwing to first.
For sure. He wasn't even looking for it, by the way.
Not. 2 down now. Here's Bircher, looks at ball 1 upstairs. The Greenwood right fielder. Bulldogs up 2-0 already here in the bottom of the first. Base is loaded. Crockett brings it home, and it's high, ball 2. Here it comes from Crockett. Low and inside, 3-0 now. No place to put him.
Another great block by the catch. Uh-oh.
And he threw it down to second base, but it wasn't going to be enough. I don't know if we wanted to start Petty there.
No. I was saying that. I looked up and I saw it was Petty. And no.
Here it is. No place to put Bircher. Got to come with a striker. It's an RBI walk. Right down the middle, strike 1.
It'd be nice to get a few more runs here. We talked about one game. Just our Achilles has been leaving runners on base.
Yep. Yeah, we left 8 runners on base in the first 3 innings there last week against Van Buren. That's in the dirt, and he walked him. Good at bat for Bircher to be patient and get an RBI out of the deal. Pettigrew will walk home, and they're still loaded. Bulldogs up 3-0. Zitzman to second, Mitchell at third. Here's Brady Morgan. He bats in the 9 hole. Greenwood shortstop. Bases loaded. Morgan's shown signs of brilliance in these conference outings. The first one to him's upstairs, ball 1.
I have a feeling, you know how different umpires are, but there's an umpire somewhere that this kid would just shine with because he's hitting the same spot, the top part of the zone, or just out of the zone at the top part every time.
And he's going to give him that inside black called strike. I think they're higher than we think, are they, Sean? You're watching this.
I can bring a highlighter and put a box up there on that screen.
That one's inside, 2-1.
Well, to me, you've always liked the high strike.
I love the high strike, but I think those are even higher for me.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the one earlier that we had that you questioned was in there, the one the coach actually argued about. That would have been a strike for me, I think.
See, because that's at the top of his helmet. Let's see where his helmet is. His helmet is about just below the waist. So I'd
letter
say,
high. 3-1 is the count.
Was he saying that's letter high?
Those
wow.
And they're going to throw back and try to pick Zitzman. The ball got loose. He's going to send Mitchell home, no problem. And a run scores on an error. You try to gamble with 2 outs, and it costs them a run.
Well, sometimes you play with fire, you get burned.
I don't know who the error would go to. The pitcher on the throw, I guess?
The pitcher on the throw, even though the shortstop kind of came behind the runner and lost the ball.
Third error of the inning. And that one's high to Morgan. They're loaded back up.
They're trying to get somebody hot in the pen. They've got a couple guys throwing down there.
And we've batted around now. Top of the order, Skaggs back up. Greenwood leading 4-0 now. Bases loaded for Skaggs. He reached on an error his first time up to start the game in the bottom of the first for Greenwood, I guess. And here's Skaggs. Second time he's seen this guy. We've batted around. Crockett up on top. He will kick and fire. In there for a strike.
I wonder if he says the umpire takes a little bit to step back and call it. I wonder if a lot of them will say yep or strike
right,
and then step
signal,
back.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure the batters and the players can hear it quicker than we can. Here's the 0-1. That's inside, 1-1. We've batted around here in the first inning. 10th batter to the plate.
Wasn't there a debate whether you actually bat around if you come to the batter before him?
4-0, and that one's in the dirt. I can tell you that I would say you bat around if all 9 get to the plate.
Yeah.
That's batting around. I mean, I think you've batted.
You bat all the way around to the other guy, even if he doesn't.
That one's fouled out of play. 2-2 now. Yeah, I agree.
As a player, I only considered it.
Once the 10th batter gets there, you've batted around. Right? No.
Yes. If he makes it to the plate. Yes.
Inside, got to the backstop, going to score a run. As Zitzman will trot in from third base. Everyone else moving up. It's 5-0 here, bottom of the first. Bulldogs now knee-deep in a 2-out rally. And it's a full count to Skaggs.
And the catcher's done a great job. He's just had to block so many. He gets a fastball inside. It kind of thumbs him to where he can't get down and block it in time.
Double barrel action going in the Goblins bullpen. And that's upstairs, and we've loaded them up again, and Skaggs draws a walk. And here's Ty Holt.
You're going to see a pitch and change here.
And Coach Rodden has seen enough, and tough outing here for Crockett. Couldn't get those borderline high strikes, and then some errors in the field. And the Bulldogs have put 5 runs on him, and he'll only get through 2/3 of an inning. We will take a timeout here for this pitching change as the Bulldogs lead 5-0, still batting here in the bottom of the first inning. It's Greenwood Baseball on the Sports Hog, 103.5. You can give me a minute here. He's bringing the boy in, Tate Rodden.
Why'd you do that to your boy?
Right.
I wonder what grade he's. I bet he's probably a freshman or sophomore.
That I don't know.
Pitching change for the Goblins. The mound number 4, Tate Rodden.
We're going to find out. "30 seconds. Check it." Rodden's a junior.
Let's go, Holt.
Rodden's a junior.
Gotcha,
Okay.
junior. I wonder if they're senior laden. He's got to be a field rat.
Crockett was a junior, first pitcher.
He went back to first.
Yeah, they just swapped them two. Or no?
No, they brought.
We are back here at Greenwood. New pitcher for the Golden Goblins is Tate Rodden. He's a right-handed junior. They sent Crockett to first base. So we'll see what other changes were made. Esta's still there. You've still got Cat catching. Benton still at second. Reese still at short. Maybe an outfielder change. Or, no, actually, they probably just sent Baylor Barton to the showers. He was number 6 that was at first base.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a baklava. Is that him in – it's not him in left, is it? I thought he had a baklava on.
Well, it may have been because that's where Jaden Brown was, who was in the 10 hole in the lineup, so they may have
moved him to left.
And Brown may have went that. We'll check it between innings. Still bases loaded for Greenwood. Here's Ty Holt, the 11th batter to come up here in the top or in the bottom of the first inning. Rather, Greenwood already 5 across, and Holt, who walked his first time up, his courtesy runner Holland scored a run. Bases loaded for the freshman catcher. Here it is. First one from Tate Rodden, rather, and a called strike.
That was a ball off. And low. That wasn't even close.
It was certainly outside, I thought. Here's the 1-0. Or the 0-1. That's the old breaking ball that just missed upstairs. 1-1.
Well, if he hasn't called fastballs up there, he's not going to call that pitch. That was a looping 12-6 breaking ball.
Yes. 2 down for Holt. Here it comes from Rodden. 1-1. Fastball's in the air, and it will tail. Will it get out of play? It will. The wind will push. It's still howling that way. And Holt's in a 1-2 hole. We saw him get an 0-2 hole and then hit the game winner as he battled back to get the count full. In the bottom of the 8th in game 1. Here comes the 1-2 to Ty Hope. This one's in the air to right field. The right fielder, Walker, draws the bead and makes the catch for out number 3 as the bottom of the first inning finally comes to an end for the Goblins. The Bulldogs did leave the bases loaded. We had 3 errors, though. Greenwood had 5 runs across on 1 hit.
1 hit.
1 hit. Sure was. We'll take it. 5-0 Bulldogs after the first inning. We'll take a quick break. Greenwood Sports Center and the Sports Hog 103.5. Yeah, a minute's fine. Well, nice. We are back here in Greenwood. Finally moving on to the second inning. Now, Keith, I don't know how much you've pitched or whatever, but you've been obviously coached a lot. Sitting that long, where are we at with Mason Moore?
Well, I mean, you know he's over there doing something. It's not good if you just sit there, but if you get up and you move around, it's definitely a lot easier to pitch when you have a 5-run lead. So I think if you asked a pitcher, and you knew I pitched in college. I pitched 1 year in college.
Whatever.
I did.
Yeah. Well, that looked pretty good. A strike on the first one to Cooper Graham, the DH. Go ahead.
But I was hot all the time. I mean, I was loose all the time.
Now, Coach Brewer comes out. He's wanting some headlights turned off, I guess, and they do get turned off as the guy coming to watch a ball game.
Automatic lights.
Right.
15-second delay.
Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball got in.
Oh.
No? Wow.
Wow.
A little high, I guess. 1-1. Still some headlights shining. And whoever's in the little Chevy here, if they've got us tuned in. And she's going to move. Okay. Thank you. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cooper Graham, their designated hitter. He's a right-handed bat. Mason Moore, the right-handed hurler for the Bulldogs, up and brings her home. That's way outside. Got back to the backstop. 2-1 now.
Maybe we should get some floodlights to mount along that fence, and every time someone has their lights on, you just shine them back.
I like it. Fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
3 balls and a strike. That one was outside, too. or just put some wind fence.
Yes, I agree.
He went down and golfed that one. Carnes, nice play at third. Rocks it across. Good pick over there from Pettigrew. 5-3 on the putout. Dogs made that look easy. It was not that easy of a play. Kind of between hops. Carnes gloved it. A little bit low on the throw. Petty plays a great first base.
Oh, but this umpire set up for a pitcher. If you keep it low, you're going to get a lot of ground balls.
I guarantee it.
And Mason's adjusted. Their pitcher never adjusted to the strike zone. I think Mason's done oh, my gosh.
I don't know where that one was, but it was called a ball. It's Grady Benton, their second baseman. Number 2. Here's the 1-0. Little outside. 2-0.
Now, that would be the part that's frustrating is if you get too many of those balls that you dot on the outside and you're not getting the call.
Here's a chopper back to Moore. He'll come off the mound, throw over, no problem. 1-3 on the putout. Couple of ground ball outs. Now, here's where they've changed the lineup, Keith. We talked about Baylor Barton. He never got to see the light of day. This is number 9.
And I think he crossed tie up. Mason and Ty have, at this time of night here on this field, there's evidently a shadow. You can see the umpire's got a couple shadows around him that when Ty puts his hand down between his legs to give the sign, it's dark. And so you may have to see him go to something else so Mason can pick up the sign.
This is Carter Phillips, and he looks at strike one.
Mr. Holland, was that one outside? Just a little.
Swing and a miss. Strike two. Moore settling in here after the long delay. He's telling Mr. Terry that's running his fat mouth, it don't take me no problem. I'll come out and mow him down. Swing and a miss. He got him. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 3 pitches. And the second strikeout for Mason Moore, and the Goblins go in order in the top of the second.
It's easier to pitch when you got a 5-run. I'm telling you.
5-0, you bet. You may be onto something there. And as I look, I see Grady Benton heading out to right field or left field. I'm going to try to get all of our players where they belong now. Jaden Brown has been stricken from the record. He was in right. So you've got Blaine Walker still in right field. You've got Peyton Reese at short still. Garen Crockett's back at first. Estes stayed at third. Cooper, the DH. You've got Carter Phillips, who's now at second base. And Grady Benton went to left field. Gavin Phillips is in center, and Cat still catching. I think we've got everybody squared away. The only thing I don't have is the pitcher, and that is Tate Rodden.
Well, everything should be good now. You can't let your foot off the gas. You and I are going to get to talk about this in about 4 innings. Did Greenwood become complacent and be okay with just scoring some in the first inning, or were they able to tack some on after that? They've got to be that team. Of course, we only did it with one hit. It's not like they affected that. I mean, they helped us out quite a bit, but now we've got to turn it on because we still haven't just had our inning yet.
Okay, it's 5-0 now. If you're wondering, the run rule's 10 after 5, so we'll have to play 5 innings regardless of the score, and the Bulldogs hopefully can keep tacking on. Rodden went upstairs and fooled Carnes. He took a home run hack and a big old fat pitch that stayed upstairs. Strike one. Carnes an RBI single is in the first. Here it comes from Rodden. There's one that went the other way and fouled out of play, and Carnes quickly in an 0-2 hole. Carnes, Pettigrew, Jackson, Cole.
Unless you're against some of those guys from Valley View or Maumelle, the guys that are, low 90s, Carnes, Skaggs, Pettigrew, Cole, those guys, it's going to be tough to strike them out. Even with 2, when they get 2 strikes, they become better hitters. They may take a little bit off to where you may not get that home run or ball off the fence, but they do a great job of putting the ball in play.
Here's the 0-2 to Carnes. Rodden kicks and fires. And there's a chopper back to the shortstop, gobbles it up in front of second, and throws it to the dugout, and Carnes will reach on an error.
First baseman should tag him. You always tag him just in case he made it, but he didn't.
He tagged him. He was signaled safe. So we've got an early error here.
Now batting the first baseman, number 99, Brady Pettigrew.
On the throw, E6. Here's Pettigrew. Petty reached on a fielder's choice, scored a run in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. From the stretch, now we'll see what Rodden's got up his sleeve. Nobody out bottom second. Greenwood up 5-0 here in game 2. First game went to extra innings scoreless, and the Bulldogs walked it off in the 8th, 1-0. There's a breaking ball that got away. Good read from Carnes. He'll advance up on the passed ball.
I'm not seeing a lot of that from the catcher. It looks like it just got past him.
Yep. May even have flickered off his glove a bit.
Yes, I think it did.
Not considered an error, though, officially, which is strange. Rodden now checks on Carnes at second. He'll come home to Pettigrew. Here's the 1-0. And it's in there for a called strike.
Well, they have a whole other category for that. Pass balls and wild pitches. If it's a pass ball, it goes to the catcher. That would have been a pass ball.
Yes.
And to me, that's the same as an error if you have a pass ball.
Agreed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brady Pettigrew. There goes Karn. Nope, thought he was going. That ball got through, and now he's going to go a second break, and he may be in trouble. And he got under the tag. He did. The throw luckily got there. Estes gobbled it up, but Carnes, with a late break on a second bounce, if you will, got under the tag safely at third.
Well, the rule is if you bounce back to second, you don't go. But he said, well, I'm Carnes, I'm going to do it. And it almost cost him. It was almost a bad jump.
Well, and he bounced back to second, but then he noticed the ball squirted away as Petty lifts this one foul. It's 2-2. And he knew he had time then once the ball got away from the catcher. And certainly Grant Carnes has carte blanche to do whatever he'd like to do here on campus at Greenwood High School.
Well, either that or a blank check.
Yes. 2-2. Rodden checks on Carnes at third. Here it comes. Breaking ball just missed inside. Pitcher didn't like it. The head coach, father, probably is not liking it either.
He was barking a little bit. I'm sorry, booing.
Booing.
Yeah, goblins.
Full count.
But it was in. It stayed in.
Yes. Petty wants something to drive here. Rodden up on top, peering in for a while. He's got the sign, and Pettigrew asked for time and got it. Slab digs in from the right side. Here's the 3-2. Rodden's ready. He'll kick and fire. It's upstairs, and he walked him. Good at-bat for Brady Pettigrew. Runners at the corners now for Jackson Cole. Had a sac fly RBIs over in foul ground. It was the first out of the inning in the first inning, but it was effective, deep enough to score a runner. Jackson Cole, our second baseman.
I guess it could be said, because I'm going to say it, so it could have been said, that Greenwood's doing a good job of being selective. I know they're walking a lot of us, but some of these pitches, it's not like they're just given balls.
Right. Yeah.
So Greenwood's doing a good job that they're being patient and allowing the walks to happen.
Rodden set up top. Here it comes. That's upstairs to Cole. Ball one.
It's been up there the entire game.
Both pitchers.
Yeah.
Mitchell's out on deck. Here's Cole. Greenwood leading 5-0, bottom of the second inning. A complete 180 from the first game. There goes the runner. Pettigrew swiping bags, and a hit and run turned on, and Cole fouls this one out of play. And Pettigrew saying, come on, bro. I got to run all the way back. He's a defensive lineman. He's not in the mood for that. Boy, was he a good one. Woo!
Good athlete.
One ball, one strike. Facts, that's right. One ball, one strike. Jackson Cole. Right-handed bat for Greenwood. And a right-handed pitcher in relief is Tate Rodden, the coach's boy. And he's set up top. Here it comes. It's outside. 2-1.
That catcher must be losing the ball some because he was doing a great job. Now, that hit his glove, too, or it may have hit his shin guard.
Well, it's odd because we've seen that quite a bit from Ty. In game one, he had a couple bounce out. Maybe the balls are rubber. Are these rubber balls?
I don't know.
2 balls and a strike to Jackson Cole. Here, he's going to throw to third or spin and fake to third, then fake to first. Everybody's back safely.
That was the old fake to third. Look at first.
Yep. Which is outlawed in the league, right? And in major leagues, they can't do that anymore, I believe.
That's the truth,
They got rid of that. I don't know why. Cole swings and misses, 2-2. Petty's going to go. Ball's into center field. The double steal's on. Carden scores. Petty's going to be able to get to third on the ball that went to center field. And a comedy of errors here for the Golden Goblins.
I didn't see it. I was watching the screen. Was that a delay steal?
I thought it was.
Because he didn't break directly. I don't think he broke right on the pitcher. It would have happened quicker, but it was a great delay steal.
The reason I think it was is because I was marking down the pitch in my deal, and I looked up and I could see a white jersey in my peripheral, and Pettigrew was on the run. Here's a 2-2. Nobody out still in the bottom of the second. Swing and a miss for Cole. That was my bad, Jackson. I shouldn't have said that. Now there's one out. 6-0 run across here in the second for Greenwood, and here's Austin Mitchell. He's our center fielder. He walked, scored a run in the first inning. Greenwood sent 11 batters to the plate in the first inning. It's 6-0 now here in the bottom of the second. That one's a little low to Mitchell. Ball one.
I'll give it to the pitcher's. The only thing tough is he's not giving a low pitch. He's just giving a low pitch, and then
right. Here's the 1-0. And swinging the miss. Mitchell with a home run hack.
Oh, you're something else.
On TV.
You're something else.
Here's the 1-1. Rodden kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Mitchell just laid on those.
He's
Good
not
pitches
tracking
to hit.
it.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe Brewers Jackets giving them some fits up there.
They're all probably concerned about it.
I mean, are we on the Iditarod? What's going on over there? 1-2. Of course, I'm saying that right here in front of this heater that's in the press box that's blowing 73-degree heat.
It's not that cold in here.
Huh? No, it's not beautiful. I'm in shorts.
I may have to take off this jacket.
I'm in shorts. Here's the 2-2 to Austin Mitchell. But it is cold. He may be a cold-natured guy. That's upstairs full count. But I'll tell you this. You can pull off a 5 o'clock shadow like that. I think that thing has gotten beautiful just in tonight's affair. I mean, it's magnificent.
I'm sure it's only 8 hours since he
No
probably
doubt.
shaved this morning.
Yeah. Magical. Here's the 3-2. And Mitchell lifts this one in the air towards right
That's
field.
down.
Is it deep enough? The second baseman drifts back and makes a snow cone catch. Petty's going to tag. He'll score. And it's an RBI sac fly for Austin Mitchell. We'll take it. 7-0 now. Bulldogs tack another tally on here in the bottom of the second.
And that's why the right fielder took a first step back. If he comes in, it's a different ballgame because he's catching it going in to make the throw. It's a kind of an easy tag if the second baseman's going back because then he's got to plant his feet and turn it around. And plus, you got to go down that hill behind second base, that home field advantage.
Great point. First one to Zitzman's way outside of the backstop. He threw it at the mascot. And it's 1 ball to Zach Zitzman. He reached on a fielder's choice in the first, scored a run. The 5th and final run in the first inning. Greenwood up a touchdown here on Harrison, bottom of the second inning. 7-0. Zitzman trying to extend the inning here with 2 down. The base is finally empty. Greenwood had mucho traffic on the base paths here through an inning and 2/3.
Well, how many hits do we still have? I think maybe still be 1 hit.
Still just 1 hit. Here it comes to Zitzman, and that's in there for a called strike. 1-1. Reached on an air. We've got a walk. There's our hit from Carnes, as you might expect. The fielder's choice, sack, fly, walk. Fielder's choice, walk. Fly out to right. Breaking ball, tried to come back in. I think if the catcher Mike could have caught and framed, he would have got the call, but it spun free to the backstop.
Oh, yeah, he was framing before the ball ever made it there.
And reached on an air, a walk, a strikeout, and a sack fly here in the second inning. Only 1 hit. Here's the 2-1 now to Zitzman. Outside, a little low as well. 3-1. Bircher's out on deck. If Zitzman can extend the inning here. Bottom of the second. Dogs up 7-0 on Harrison. Game 2 of this Twin Bill 5A West action. Here it is, the 3-1. And it's upstairs, and he walked him. Whew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th free pass issued by the Goblins pitching here. We're 2 down, bottom of the second. And home plate Blues ask for time. There's baseballs coming in from the Greenwood dugout, third base side. Maybe asking for a little bit of hot cocoa as well.
We've got Harrison. Then Saturday you have a game at Southside. You're going to play at Southside. And then Siloam Springs comes here next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so you need to really follow up and then just get the next Tuesday. Get out of this weather.
Yeah.
All these walks and get to a team, maybe get some strikes. And because at some point you got to start swinging the bat and be consistent up and down the lineup.
I agree. Winning is good, but, boy, yeah, it'd be nice to get the ball on the bat a little bit for sure. Here's the 1 ball count. The first one is in the dirt to Bircher. Zitzman with a lead at first. Pretty decent lead. They hold him on over there, and they'll come home with it. And that one's fouled right back at us.
But see, for whoever's when we said that, saying, "Well, we got too many walks, we can't hit the ball." We've witnessed a lot of fouled off fastballs,
sure,
and not fighting off third strike fastballs like early in the count fastballs. That we better get better at hitting. If you face better pitching that can affect it, then you're going to be in trouble. You've got to hit fastballs early. We're fouling off way too many.
Agreed. They're going to throw over, and Zitzman's back in safely.
We got a high leg kick. I'm pretty sure he did a high leg kick when he pitched it, and if he does that again, Zitzman's just fast enough. He'll be there.
Rodden from the stretch. He's in relief of Crockett, who started this game too. There goes the runner. The pitch should be a strike. He's safe. Here's what happened. He just held the ball out to wait for him to slide into the tag, and Zitzman just slid around it.
I mean, it was a great slide. He did a swim move, too. He reached in. He kind of slid out and turned and reached in with his right hand. And you're right. The shortstop just held his glove. Was like, come on, slide into this.
And that is magnificent work from Zitzman. And they called that a ball, too, at the plate. So it's 2-1 now to Bircher. That was a strike. Upstairs, 3-1.
And listen, and I know there's some tension. It's too far away to be a good rivalry, but there's a rivalry here.
Yes.
And I happened to be at Harrison when the umpires, the entire crew in junior high football was just bad. You remember hearing about that?
Oh, yeah. Inside, he walked him, yes. No doubt.
They called unsportsmanlike. I mean, they did everything they could to where Harrison had the ball with under 2 minutes to go, when essentially it should have been Greenwood's ball, and none of the calls. I mean, you could even ask the Harrison parents were apologizing to us as we were leaving, which it's got to be bad when they're apologizing.
Right. Here's Brady Morgan. He walked and was stranded at second in that first inning. First pitch swinging. It's in the air. Will it stay in play? It does not. Now, Crockett gave good a chase over there, but just ran out of real estate, and it's a strike one.
Well, the catcher's got to do a better job of getting over here to the side and talking to him, telling him when he's close, because if he takes his eye off that ball, I think he did, to find the fence, then he lost it, and it still hit the fence. Yeah.
I think he could have caught it.
Because it still hit the inside of the fence.
Yep. Well, here comes the 0-1 to Morgan. I like to see him get in the battle of the ball. Here it is. The runners go. That's over the head and easily swiped for Zitzman. And there goes Bircher down to second base. So the Bulldogs runners on the move here.
Well, Bircher was late on seeing Zitzman go, but then he looked up and nobody's covering second. The shortstop and second baseman were buying a ticket and watching the game instead of covering the bag. 1
ball, 1 strike to Brady Morgan. Our shortstop, here it comes. In the dirt, 2-1. Pitcher knocked it down enough to keep Zitzman at third. Top of the order out on deck, Skaggs with 2 down. Let's see if Morgan can keep the inning alive. It's 7-0 Greenwood, bottom of the second inning. Crooked number on the board again for the Bulldogs. 5 in the first, 2 here in the second. Rodden comes home. There's a shot towards short. Good job of running, trying to shield the defender. I think they're going to call this out. Boy, it was close for Morgan. 6-3 on the putout.
Bircher would have got the assist. Bircher stayed in front of that ball to kind of shield it. The shortstop actually did a good job to be able to watch it into his glove, because Bircher did such a good – he probably waited too long, but I like to see it. Good effort.
2 runs, 2 men left on base. There was 1 error. Still no hit for Greenwood there in the second inning.
No hits again?
Nope. Only 1 on the game. But we lead 7-0 into the second inning. We'll take a quick timeout on the Sports Hog 103.5. Yeah, 30 seconds is fine. I think I got a short in this cord of this. I can wiggle it. I have nothing, and now I have something. I don't know if it's just in the.
Well, quit messing with it. You're going to tear it up.
I like when I grab the cord to make sure.
Why would you be shaking the cord?
I want to see you wiggle it just a little bit. I'll quit. Well,
I want to see Sean get fired up. I tell you, wiggle some of his cords and see if he gets fired up.
No,
because I'm sure you're not.
I don't want to wiggle his cord.
Technicians will tell you don't wiggle the cords.
We welcome you back to Greenwood. Tim Terry, Keith Holt live on Greenwood Sports Center on YouTube and the Sports Hog 103.5. It's 5A West baseball.
Got any other scores?
Lady Bulldogs softball's up 14-0 after 3.
Did you get the other Russellville Alma?
I haven't seen game 2.
Let me look, see if I can get it.
Mason Moore back to work. I told Coach Brewer that the Mountain Home had lost their first one against Van Buren, so put us back atop the conference in a tie. I know that Russellville pummeled Alma in game 1.
And they're up 5-0, bottom of 4 in game 2.
Russellville is?
Yes.
So they're going to get the sweep of the Airedales. You're going to have Greenbrier more than likely sweep Siloam. Moore back to work. And the first pitch swinging is a little flare out to center field where Austin Mitchell, the human vacuum cleaner, resides. That was Gavin Phillips, their center fielder. And there's one pitch, one out.
So at the top is Mountain Home's got 1 loss and Greenwood has 1 loss?
Yes.
Now batting the catcher, number 3.
And then Russellville has 2 and Greenbrier has 2.
Yes. Here's Lee Catt. He's their catcher. First time up here in the top of the 3rd. Moore up on top for the Bulldogs. Right-handed hurler, right-handed bat. And swinging a miss. Like to see that. He was going after it. 1 pitch, 1 out. He was going after that first pitch. 0-1. A nasty breaking ball from Mason Moore. Here it comes. Same thing. Called strike. Good pitch from Moore.
It's baseball is such a confidence and feel thing. Even though the weather's probably gotten colder, the fact that Greenwood's scoring and it just feels better. It feels more like baseball.
Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Razorbacks putting it on the A-State. 13-0. They missed an extra point up in Fayetteville.
Top of the 6th.
Mason Moore kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Squirted away from Holt. He'll gather, throw down to first, and complete the strikeout. That's K-2-3 if you're scoring at home.
Yeah, my question, I hope Ty's probably asking him, is look, that the bat hit that ball out of the box. Like when he dropped his bat, it actually hit the ball. I think Ty went to grab the ball and hit the bat with his hand.
So it's up to the top of the order. Blaine Walker now. He's their right fielder. Top of the 3rd, Greenwood leading 7-0 in game 2 of this doubleheader. Breaking ball, just filth, broke in there off the shelf, strike 1.
You know, since we mentioned Arkansas, they've given up 1 hit. They've pitched 7 pitchers, 1 hit, and 10 strikeouts in 6 innings.
Geez. 0-1 now. Outside, 1-1.
And these are your Tuesday guys. It's kind of like even high school. You've got your conference guys. Mm-hmm. How good are you to win the other games?
Yep.
And, you know, you got to be deep. You got to have some depth.
Yes. 1-1. There's that bender. It's a little low this time. 2-1 to Blaine Walker. Left-handed bat. Starting pitcher in game 1. Pitched to Dandy. Went head-to-head with Carnes. Gave us all we wanted. Here's the 2-1. Inside. 3-1. And really, we never got to him when they switched pitchers. We took it to the right-hander. Here's the 3-1 from Mason Moore for Greenwood. Shot towards short. Caught Morgan kind of taking a step towards third right as the bat was swung.
I saw that same thing. I was wondering why he was going to third.
He hit it right to that hole on a single with 2 outs. Interesting.
That's why you do your prep steps, so you can go either direction, quickly.
2 down and a runner on now for Peyton Reese. He's their shortstop. Sacrifice bunt in the first. Moore up on top. Pettigrew holding Walker at first base. 2 outs, top of the 3rd. 7-0 Bulldogs. First one's home, and it's outside a bit. Ball 1.
I don't think you steal here down 7 runs. I think you just got to let things happen and hope you can piece a few hits together before you start trying to make things happen on the bases. You don't have one of your few base runners get thrown out.
Moore up on top, stepped off and gathers again. Now he's ready. 1 ball count to Peyton Reese. Swing and a miss. Fastball. Good pitch. I don't know this Mason Moore kid. I like him.
I'm telling you, that's where he's best. I know he plays some first. He loves to hit, but he belongs out there on the mound. He looks good. He owns it. He really wants to be out there. To me, he's like your Will McIntyre.
Yeah. Gotcha.
He's a guy that I think he just wants the ball, and he's not going to overpower you, but he's going to outpitch you when you try to hit. So to me, that's where he's very valuable to Greenwood. You know, he wasn't predicted to be the 2 role. He's been good enough to where you can have Mitchell as a closer and then move Mason to your number 2 role behind Carnes, which is not a bad number 1.
Swing and a miss on the 1-1. He got to 1-2, and this breaking ball was outside, squirts away from Holt, and that'll allow Walker to move up to second in a 2-2 count to Peyton Reese.
Oh, but those catchers, I tell you, the more we don't talk about them, the better they must be doing. But, you know, when you've got these guys that throw a ton of movement and a ton of curveballs, that ball was spinning way outside. For Ty to just get in front of it, he did good, but it hit the inside of his leg and shot off towards the Greenwood dugout side. That's what Mason's going to say. Look, I'm going to come get you a different ball so Ty can gather himself.
He's taking a beating today back there a little bit more than normal. We have to get him an Epsom salt bath.
No, that's good. That's what you want. You want your catchers to take such a beating that they become numb to it.
Right, yeah.
And then the next drill, you know, we go home and then you take off all your equipment and still chest it up and block.
There you go. Raw.
With rocks and bowling balls.
A 2-2 count to Peyton Reese. 2 outs here, top of the third, runner at second. Moore's ready. He'll bring it home. Breaking ball, got him. Nastiness. Woo! That thing came in, front door, breaking ball, backwards K. Man, what a pitch from Mason Moore. That's his 4th strikeout of the day as we go to the bottom of the third inning. They left a man on base. That's 2 now for the Golden Goblins. 1 hit for Harrison as well. No runs, though. 7-0 Greenwood as we go to the bottom of the third. Today's game being brought to you in part by JH Automation Solutions, Craig Gigerich State Farm Insurance, Duck's Body Shop, Freedom Roofing, MSG Waste, Shirley's Tax Services, Taylor Family Vision, Top Notch Roofing, Virtue Energy Services. Those are our Grand Slam sponsors. Our Dugout Club sponsors. Anchored Hope, Ben Sanitized, Boondocks, Farmers Bank, Greenwood Express Lube, Liberty Roofing, Oak Bauer Pest LLC, West Stark Plumbing, and Ronnie Alton Terry Roofing. Ronnie, class of 72, I believe. He was on or 71. I don't know if he was on that state finals team in 72 or not. Appreciate Uncle Ronnie his help with the broadcast or the baseball program. 7-0 here, Bulldogs. And Rodden back out for the Goblins here in the bottom of the third, and it'll be the top of the order again, Skaggs.
You know what makes you talk about Ronnie Terry? I mean, the alumni of Greenwood are awesome. The ones that are out of state that turn into, that tune into Sports Center, the ones that send money, the support. It's great to see this community. So we see Skaggs with a hit to right. Right fielder settles under it, catch it for out number 1. Holt will be up to bat. But anyway, I think it's really, people talk about how successful the program is, and people really don't talk about it. If you get on message boards and stuff, there are a lot of alumni that, some people are like, oh, I'm just done, I've graduated, but there's a lot of supporters, and they need to be thanked occasionally.
Walker out there and right making the catch, made it look easy. Here's Ty Holt with 1 down. First pitch right down the middle. Boy, we talked about it, Keith.
Yeah, can't miss fastballs.
And that's about the best one we've seen today. Right down the middle. Holt walked his first time up, then flied out to right. Breaking ball, tapped foul, back right behind the plate. 0-2. Ty and Skaggs both got 2 at-bats in the first inning.
Yeah.
Here's Rodden. Tried that breaking ball. It stayed way upstairs. 1-2 now. Carnes out on deck. Bottom of the third. Bulldogs 5 in the first, 2 in the second. They lead 7-0 here in the nightcap of this doubleheader. Got him. Holt thought he was struck out too, heading to the dugout, I thought. 2-2. That ball was on the outer black, and certainly the Harrison faithful that have made the trip down are vocal. Looked good to me, too. I thought Ty was in the dugout.
Man, he's protected the umpire so much. Give him one every now and then.
Here's the 2-2. And fouled out of play. 2-2 again.
It ain't like that's the first one he's missed, and it won't be the last.
Right.
I mean, it was probably on the corner, low and outside on the black, probably.
That's a dad talking there. My
Hey, now when
God.
have you ever heard me say anything positive?
True. Here's the 2-2. That one bounced in, and again, what we've talked about, Keith. Here's a pitch or a call that went against you. How things always snowball, whether it's for Greenwood or not. And we'll see if Holt can cash in on the missed third strike. Here's the 3-2. And this one's hit but foul, slicing right side out of play. It's a good battle here. Full count, 1 out. Ty Holt, the Greenwood catcher. He's a freshman. Here it comes. This one's in the air, out of play, foul, right side again.
You know, there's something technically and physically happens for you to do that. You get either steep with your bat to where your hands are higher than the bat and you just can't barrel it up, or your front side's going to where it puts you in that position to foul it off that way. And as a hitter, you tell them, okay, you can do it once, but you better figure it out so you don't do it twice or 3 times.
Here's the 3-2. Again, how about 3 in a row? I saw Ty after the last one look down to Tony Sandifer at first base, kind of shrug his shoulders like, give me something. And then he looked at Brewer. That time Brewer just said the same right there. He's out in front of it, raising his head up.
Track it, let's go.
3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out here in the bottom of the third.
Well, the thing that Ty does well for a freshman, you hear a lot of coaches will choke up and just fight it and put it in play. You know, that ball he hit the last game was well hit. He won't let up swinging.
Here's the 3-2. It almost plunked him. He'll take his base. Good at-bat there for Ty Holt. We got a base runner now with 1 out, and Grant Carnes coming to the plate.
Back to the third baseman, number 3, Grant.
Well, and, you know, I don't think it's a good at-bat. I don't think we've had great at-bats on some of our walks. I know a walk is a good at-bat.
Yep.
But hear me out. We're still missing too many fastballs.
Yes.
And
he even missed one there.
Yeah, he missed 2.
Right.
And to win the conference tournament, to win the state tournament, people aren't going to walk you because the pitchers are going to be good, or you're going to have to hit the ball. So you've got to practice now not missing those fastballs.
Holland comes in to run for Holt, and they throw over. It squirts away from Crockett, but not far enough for Scott to do anything with it. He'll stay at first as Carnes gets back in. He had an RBI single, reached on an error, scored a run. Carnes is 1 for 2. That one's in the dirt. Ball 1 to the Bulldogs' junior third baseman here in game 2.
Well, and again, you got it's as different from SEC to ACC. The type of umpiring is differences in the. So see a hit to second base,
Gobbled up, went to second for 1, and not in time for Carnes at first, so he'll reach on the fielder's choice.
but it's as different, and I'm sure they see different up in the northern part of the state as we see over here on the, the western side. I mean, it's just different, and some people think, well, we just don't get the same calls. Well, you're just getting different calls, and you're not used to them yet.
Well, here's Brady Pettigrew. He scored twice, reached on a fielder's choice, and walked. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Carnes deeks like he's going to run the breaking ball. Boy, I don't know where that's at. Pitcher and catcher both turn around, look at home plate blue. That's tough sledding. I'd like to know what he's saying to the catcher, and the catcher's asking him again, where was that? 1 ball to Pettigrew. Woo, wow. That one's low, got away. Carnes was on the move anyway. He'll swipe the bag easily. 2-0 count.
Well, the rule, if you look at the catcher, his chest is like on the white of the batter's box. And kind of the rule is you make it to where you don't split that chest off the plate. That way the pitcher hits you, he has a bigger target than just your glove. He tries to hit you in the chest. And if you look at the catcher here in a second, he'll set up outside. His whole body will be almost in the box.
Hack at that one for Petty. It's fouled back. 2 balls and a strike. RBI chance now for Brady if he can get one into that outfield grass. Carnes certainly with plenty of speed to score. 7-0 Bulldogs, bottom of the third inning. And Rodden will turn and look at second. No throw. Get Carnes back. Nobody covering.
Again, that's just your guess. You're guessing that maybe he takes off when you lift that leg, which I'd go now. They never do it twice.
Here's the 2-1.
Wow. Holland, where was that?
3-1's a ball. Shout out to Coach Matt Rodden, who's their head coach, for not being tossed yet here in the bottom of the third.
You know, he's jawed a little bit, but he's kind of stayed within the boundaries of the lines, and that's kind of, he wants to be able to coach next Tuesday.
And Petty goes down and golfs this one.
No.
Good jump there from Walker, the right fielder, and he'll snag Petty's flare out there for out number 3. Well, the Bulldogs went without a scoring in the inning. Still no hits. They stranded a runner, or still just no hits in the inning. They only used 1 for the game. They've left 6 total now. 7-0. Greenwood leads as we move on to the 4th inning. Goblins coming to bat. It'll be Crockett, Estes, and Graham. Timeout here on the Sports Hog, 103.5.
So if you'd like to visit our concession stand, they're selling hot dogs for half price.
30 seconds fine. What's half price? $1? Well, I don't have any cash on me, but I'll buy a round.
I got some. I got it.
I don't know what half price is. Really? How many they got left? We welcome you back to Greenwood Baseball Field. Bulldogs, Goblins hooked up, 5A West doubleheader. Half-price hot dogs at the concession stand. We're going all in. 7-0. I've got Keith on the run. Thank you to Freedom Roofing for sponsoring our dinner tonight here in the press box. Mason Moore back to work for the Bulldogs, looking to sweep the Goblins. Won the first game in an 8-inning thriller. Scoreless tie. We went to extra innings. And the Bulldogs with a leadoff double from Bircher in the bottom of the 8th. Holland with a bunt single. And then Holt came up to drive in Bircher with a walk-off double to left field. And now the Goblins and Garen Crockett. His first one's on the outside, black for a called strike. Crockett, Estes, and Graham. Left-handed bat. He flied out to center. Woo! His first time up. Look at there. Hot off the grill. Moore. This one's lifted to left. And Skaggs was on his toes. You know, sometimes in a game like this, you can get lulled to sleep. Skaggs with a fantastic jump out there. No problem with his other way shot from Crockett to left field. 1 out.
Well, and since you brought it up, you have to run on your toes, too. If you don't, if you ever watch an outfielder run flat-footed, the ball bounces. It's kind of like shock absorbers.
Okay.
So you want to stay on your toes so it stays smooth and the ball's not bouncing.
Here's Estes, called strike. Right-handed batting third baseman. He struck out his first time up to end the first inning. Cooper Graham out on deck for Harrison. 1 down, top of the 4th. 7-0 Bulldogs. That one's outside. Good check swing from Estes. 1-1 the count. Mason Moore up on top. He'll kick and fire. That's in there for a called strike. Fastball. Was Moore's dad on the grill again tonight? Do we know?
I don't know. I know he's on it because he makes sure the right person's on it.
1-2 now. Breaking pitch didn't come back. Bulldogs wanted the strikeout to no avail. Double clutch from Ty back there behind the dish. A little double pump. 2-2 now to Estes. Here it comes. Here's a chopper, and it's foul ball. Holt comes out and stabs it in front of the plate, then rifles it to right field for no reason. Coming down. I think maybe the bullpen was taunting him out there for Harrison.
Mason gave him some love afterwards, and then he's like, "Can I have another ball?"
The bad thing is that maybe the ball had a good grip, felt good to Mason. Hopefully this ball will suffice.
Oh,
2-2, huh?
Mason makes the ball feel good.
Right? That's right. Here's the 2-2 to Estes. Got him swinging. Nasty breaking pitch. 2 outs. 5th strikeout for Mason Moore. Cooper Graham now is their DH. He grounded out to third to start the 2nd inning. Greenwood up 7-0 here. There's one in there for a called strike. Two outs. Top of the 4th. Swing and a miss. Moore settling in nicely here. Looking to face 3 batters here in the 4th inning. And record maybe a 2nd strikeout here. He's way ahead of Cooper Graham, their DH. Breaking ball, and he got it. That thing broke in there, and Ty Holt was heading to the dugout. Oh, he went Buster Posey on him back there. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Woo! Mason Moore feeling it here as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Greenwood leading 7-0 over Harrison. 5A West action. Quick break here on the Sports Hog 103.5. One minute. That's a ballpark, Frank.
You can tell.
Brother Ronnie? Wow. Who's the 4th? Love it.
We welcome you back. Thank you for waiting while Tim and I ate our hot dogs.
Yeah. 7-0. Greenwood leads.
You know how I know those were ballpark dogs?
Because we're at the ballpark?
Because we're at the ballpark.
Boom. Jackson Cole leads us off here at the bottom of the 4th. Sack, fly, RBI, and struck out. He's 0 for 1. Rodden back to work in relief for the Golden Goblins, the junior right-hander. And Cole, first pitch, swinging fouls this one straight back. Just missed it for strike 1.
How many hits do you have us as?
Uno.
Just 1 hit?
1 hit. Wind blowing a bit, but it's died down. That's a breaking ball in there for a called strike. Good pitch.
And that made it down. He's been not calling those because he's been catching it up. He actually caught that about the catcher's knees, and it made it down.
0-2 to Cole. We'll have to battle here. Rips that one right back up the box. Second baseman gloves, but deep in the hole. Couldn't get there. An infield single for Jackson Cole, and hit number 2, baby. Right on cue. Here's Austin Mitchell now.
Number 8, Austin Mitchell.
No, I don't need a fork.
Do you eat a hot dog?
Shout out to Stacy. Yeah, Stacy Kennedy's got us tuned in.
Do you eat hot dogs with fork? Now, if you put chili on them, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. We got some lights over in the parking lot.
Again.
Car pulled up. If you're tuned in, thank you. Yeah. Here's number 8. That's Austin Mitchell. Walked, scored a run, had a sac fly RBI of his own. And the first one's outside. Nice block back there from Mr. Cat. Ball 1. Jackson Cole aboard first base with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 4th. The second hit for the Bulldogs in the game. Still yet leading 7-0. Rodden kicks and fires for Harrison. That one's in the dirt. Same exact pitch, 2-0.
You know, as a runner, you can watch two things. There's a lot of coaches that don't teach read the ball in the dirt because it's hard to follow and see. But you watch the catcher, and if he goes to his knees, that means. But you have to go right when you see the catcher goes to his knees.
This one's in the air and fouled straight back out of play. Strike 1.
Arkansas into that game. They won in the 7 innings, 13-0.
15-0 Lady Bulldogs with a run rule victory over the Golden Goblins in softball. They'll get the sweep.
I bet they had more hits than us.
Yes. Check swing for Mitchell, but he went. They got to check that. Boy, he certainly did go. Yeah, that's right. And it's a strikeout. I mean, just to save a riot here at the stadium, he's got to ring him up because that was a swing and a miss.
There's only strike 2.
Strike 2. Yeah, they already had it on the board. Fantastic work over there from the scorekeepers. They throw over, back safely is Cole. 2-2 now. I beg your pardon to Mitchell, so not out number 1. Rodden from the stretch for Harrison. He's in relief of Crockett, who started this game. Couldn't get out of the first inning. Swing and a miss for Mitchell. Now he got him. Strikeout and 1 down. Here's Zach Zitzman now. Greenwood's DH. Reached on a fielder's choice, scored a run in the first, walked in the second inning, was stranded at third. 7-0 Bulldogs, bottom of the 4th. And Rodden throws over, and back in safely is Cole. Aaron will get to do some laundry over there as Jackson slides back in. Belly first. Head first, I guess. On the belly. Zitzman, the left-handed bat, fouls this one back to the screen. Trying to find that Zitzman we saw last week against Van Buren. He was hitting some rockets up there. He'll find one he likes here in a second.
Well, if you think about it, though, if he was pitching and he's sore, it's a different swing.
True.
And you wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Fouled that one straight back, same exact spot. He's in an 0-2 hole. Right, true.
I know it's his top hand. It's it'd be his left shoulder since he's left-handed, but according to when Stovall had his shoulder problem last year, that affected his hitting.
Interesting. 0-2 count. Breaking ball, fouled it just.
Good job of fouling that ball off.
Had to brought it out of the catcher's glove nearly. Still 0-2. Speaking of hot batting, Peyton Stovall. Wow.
Yeah, he cooled off against the Cookie tonight. 0-3.
Really? Interesting. Here's the 0-2 to Zitzman. That's in the dirt. Got away. Cole read it fine. He rounds second base. He'll swipe the bag. Zitzman's got a 1-2 count now. One ball, 2 strikes. Here it comes. This one's in the air. Will it get out of play? It's over towards the Greenwood dugout. The catcher couldn't find it, overran it, and then Estes came in, tried to help out, not in time. It falls harmlessly foul. It'll stay 1 ball, 2 strike count. Bircher out on deck for Greenwood with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Bulldogs up 7-0. I'd like to end this thing early. We went to extra inning in the first game. We ought to be able to go.
Yeah.
Get to a run rule. Need 3 more runs.
It's only fair.
Rodden checks the runner at second. Cole. He'll come home. Breaking ball. Zitzman. Nice job. A high hopper. Fielded by the shortstop. Not in time. Got past the first baseman. And Cole will jog in and score the 8th run. Zitzman to second base. And Keith, I think that was going to be an infield hit.
I think it was, too. I know the shortstop couldn't get out of his glove. I mean, if you watch him, he's kind of, it takes him a little bit. He shuffle, and the whole time you know Zitzman's barreling down that line.
I think it's a hit and then an error, one base error on the throw, to be honest with you.
Yep, I agree with that.
8-0.
Is that what you needed? 8 after 5?
No, we need 10 after 5.
10 after 5?
Yep. Run across, and Cole, it's an RBI for Zitzman. And here's Bircher. RBI walk and then another walk. And swing and a miss. Home run hack at that one. I like that. He's walked twice. He's thinking, man, I want to hit the ball. Give me something to hit.
Yeah, and we honestly need practice at hitting balls.
Yeah, absolutely. Rodden up on top. He'll check on Zitzman out at second. And come home. That's a little low or high. Pitcher is wondering. And he just got tossed. The pitcher has been arguing with the home plate blue, and he just got ran. Home plate blue just let him go. I don't know what little Rodden said to him, but I can assure you that his dad's fixing to come get a piece of it. Oh, the catcher got tossed. Not sure what the catcher said, but
catcher turned and looked at him and said something.
Well, the pitcher said something as well, and I saw him just give the "you're out of here" motion, and it was the catcher that just got thrown out. Wow.
Well, it's not the first time the catcher's done that. He did that earlier. He had and again, we're probably on the catcher's side. I mean, those look good.
They sure do.
But you still don't say anything if you're the catcher.
Yep.
You need that guy on your side.
Yep.
And for him to turn around and say something that's just a no-no. That's the same as drawing the line as a batter. You know, you don't draw the line if he misses it outside. You don't try to show him up. And with the catcher turning completely around and saying something to him, umpire just had enough.
Well, we'll take a break as they get a new catcher geared up over there for Harrison. Bulldogs lead 8-0. We've got a man on second and Austin Bircher at the plate. Quick break on the Sports Hog 103.5. Yeah, maybe about a minute and a half. I don't know how long it'll take him. No, he's already ready. Give us a minute.
I hadn't either. Well, I did the one time in the major leagues where he was asking for the ball from the umpire, and he thought that he'd already thrown it out, so he dropped his glove, and the umpire just dropped it, and he thought he was showing him up, so he tossed him immediately, and the catcher had no idea why he was tossed. Is that when that was? Yeah. But you just don't. I mean, that's the third. Thank you. That's the third time. What are you doing? Are you okay? You're going to tear up these chairs.
Oh, we just got it.
I got grease on my hand now. Tim, are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
No, I'm fine. Just chairs with wheels. Oh, high action here, drama. The catcher gets tossed. I just fell out of my chair. What else can go wrong?
One of them had nothing to do with the other. He dropped his hot dog.
Well, I tried to throw the wrapper at the trash can, and it missed and bounced on the floor, so I just reached down to get it, and my chair went out from under me.
Well, those wheels.
Need to lock these wheels somehow.
Yes, and a new pitcher.
Wow. So a whole new battery here. Let's see. Number 8 is now catching, and that's Cooper Graham. He was the DH. So he'll go to catcher. The catcher's Lee Catt. He's been tossed. The new pitcher is number 17. How do you pronounce it? He said Liam Bright. Yeah.
Pitching change for the Goblins now. Pitching number 17, Liam Bright.
So will he take the catcher's old spot in the batting order?
He should. If they replace two players, they could do a double switch.
He was DHing the guy that's catching now.
Okay.
So he was already in the batting order.
So now he assumes that role, so you lose your DH.
Right, and I'm going to pencil in Liam Bright in Lee Catt's 9 hole. We'll see what happens when we get there.
And he was the catcher that got tossed?
Yes. He's now the pitcher, Liam Bright. Big right-hander. Very interesting.
But, as a coach, you got to see what's happening. And as soon as I guarantee you, if and I don't know Brewer. Brewer wants the game to be played the right way, and if Ty Holt ever turned around and said anything, I guarantee you, him and Ethan Adams and Santa, they would all be over. You don't. That's for their job to do. The coaches can do it. The coaches can take that risk, but catchers and kids, you don't argue. You don't say anything. That's not your job. Your job is to play the game, and so I'm sure. Again, your players take on your personality, and if the coach is letting that happen, then it ultimately falls back on the coach, in my opinion.
Right. Goblin bus.
We saw him do it. Yeah, they already got it started.
Yeah, softball team. That's the softball team. They haven't started the bus.
Sorry. I thought
well, now, it is cold out there. The boys' bus driver may be having it warmed up and running, too. You may be getting loose. Wow.
What? 8:31 p.m., Tuesday the 2nd?
Well, I mean, they're at least 45 minutes closer than Mountain Home, which will make that trip in a couple of weeks.
Are the interstates going to be backed up on the 8th? Or are people just going to stop to see the cloudy sky eclipse?
The funny thing is, the last weather forecast we talked about last night at city meeting was that the emergency services here in the Sebastian County seem to think the cloud cover is going to be away from Sebastian County. Like everything else from here to Hot Springs was going to be cloudy. So like we're going to be the hot spot literally for our 2.5 minutes of darkness.
Well, I know there's supposed to be 100,000 visitors to Russellville because that's kind of the center of the path. Yeah. And
well, they can enjoy the cloud cover.
Whew.
I mean, it'll still get dark. It'll look like right now, with I
remember when we were 8 or 9 or 10, something like that, there was an eclipse. It may not have been 100%, but it was in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, I remember that.
Maybe even low 90s.
Could have been. That's kind of how I play golf when it's 70 or 80 degrees.
That's why I can't see now because they say don't look at it. And what do you
looked at it.
I'll show you.
That's stupid. My parents don't know what they're talking about.
Those sun rays have traveled millions of miles to make it to my eyes.
Exactly. 8 minutes. Here's Bircher finally digging back in a 1-1 count. We've got a new battery complete and Liam Bright up on top. And the right-hander brings it and swing and a miss from Bircher. Bright and Graham now is our battery. That's way outside. 2-2. Run across already here in the 4th. Zitzman's out at second, an RBI single. Moved up on a wild pitch. That one was going to be in there for a strike if he'd have caught it, I think, guys. Full count. Looked like outside black to no avail.
And seeing this pitching is going to make Greenwood better. But they're going to still have to be aggressive with fastballs. You don't want to get complacent. Mm-hmm. I tell them to be a little bit more aggressive because we know you can walk. We know you can be selective. They've been great the last 2 games at not swinging at stuff outside the zone. That's why they have so many walks.
Swing and a miss there from Bircher. He'll strike out, and that's number 2. Here's Brady Morgan now, the Greenwood shortstop. He walked and grounded out. He's 1 for 2. And the first one to him is a called strike.
1 for 2 or 0 for 1?
I'm sorry, 0 for 1, yes. A walk and a ground out. That time the high strike was given. Here's the 0-1. Way outside, 1-1. And they threw it down. Zitzman safely back at second. Two outs, bottom of the 4th. And Morgan sends one to right field. A flare gets in. It's going to be an RBI for Brady Morgan. RBI single. Boy, he seems to come up big in these conference games, guys. He's been good.
I looked at his conference stats. I filtered them out. I'm pretty sure that probably puts him somewhere around 360 for conference games.
Yeah, magical. I know we got the RBI hit down at Russellville.
These aren't those cookie non-conference. These are conference games.
Yes, agreed. 9-0 now. Now Bulldogs need to somehow figure out how to get Morgan home, and Skaggs will dig in. Top of the order back up. Bright up on top comes home with it. That's a called strike.
It's almost a balk.
reached on an error, has Skaggs. He walked, flied out to right. He's showing a little bit of bunt action. Now he pulls back. Here comes the 0-1. And there's a shot in the right field. We'll go station to station. He'll hold Morgan up at second base, and Skaggs has a base hit. Now we got something going. Here comes Ty Holt. Holt walked, scored a run, flied out to right, and grounded walked here. Yeah, he walked in the third, and then his courtesy runner got cut down 4-6. Holland was forced out there. Here's Ty Holt. Runners at first and second. And that's upstairs for ball one. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits for Greenwood here so far, I believe. Strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5 hits total now. 9-0. Another crooked number up here in the bottom of the fourth for the Bulldogs. Liam Bright for Harrison kicks and fires. Nope. Just missed low and away. It was close.
That's a ball off.
2-1.
That's easily a ball off.
Bright from the stretch checks on the runner at second. Now comes home. And Holt hits this one a mile high. Will it get out of play? The catcher off with the mask and makes the catch back at the fencing, does Graham, for out number 3. Well, the Bulldogs got 2 more across. They did leave 2 on base. They've left 8 overall. We had an error. There was 4 hits, had 2 runs. 9-0 Bulldogs as we move to the top of the 5th inning here over at Harrison. 5A West Conference baseball doubleheader. Greenwood won game 1, 1-0 in 8 innings. 1 extra stanza for them in game 1, trying to see if they can get this one done in 5 innings. 3 outs and a run. The Bulldogs can go to the house here in this second game of the doubleheader, and Mason Moore back out to work for the Bulldogs.
I get a feeling that Harrison's just wanted to be over too. They've had their feel. They haven't got any calls going their way. I think they're just ready to go home as well.
Catcher's been tossed, and his questioning, we talked about it. Well, they look good from here. We're at a rough angle, but we'll take them. Throw the whole team out for all I care.
Yeah, we talked about the coach staying. He's staying within the bounds to make sure he stays in.
Yep.
And it's just one thing you don't do is like I said, that I saw the catcher do it at least twice. I thought a third time you don't know what he's saying, but he had to said something that just rubbed the umpire wrong right there.
And we're ready to go. Let's see what Harrison's going to bring up to. That is Grady Benton. He's now their left fielder. Benton is 0 for 1, grounded out to the pitcher. He's actually, I think, in left field now for Harrison after all the switching and tossing and relief pitching. First one's upstairs to Grady Benton. Ball 1. 6, 7, and 8. That one's in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mason Moore kicks and fires for Greenwood. That's in there for a called strike. Good pitch. 9-0 Bulldogs lead here in the top of the 5th. Here comes the 1-2. Outside. Breaking ball. Broke a little quick. 2-2. Lady Bulldogs sweeping softball tonight. Moore kicks and fires. Got him. Backwards K. And that is number 7 for Mason Moore. He's pitching a dandy here. 1-hit baseball so far. And this is Carter Phillips. He's now at second base. Left-handed bat. Struck out in the second inning. Swing and a miss. Bulldogs lead 9-0. 5 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the fourth. From the top of the fifth, there's a shot back up the box into center field for a one-out single. And the second hit of the game for the Golden Goblins, and Carter Phillips owns it. And this is going to be a pinch hitter, number 29.
Now batting number 29, Isaac Freeman.
Coach is looking at his card. He's making sure everything's right, make sure the hitter's comfortable, everybody knows what's going on.
Freeman comes in the fifth to pinch hit. He's number 29. He's in the Gavin Phillips spot, who was their center fielder. Home plate blue gets his markings down. We're ready to go. One out single. Carter Phillips on over there at first base. Moore takes a peek and gets set up top, and now comes home with it. That's in there for a called strike. Fastball.
You like to see coaches come together in conversation. Everybody can agree to not like the umpires. So,
right. Here's the 0-1. Moore's ready. And that breaking ball, is he going to give it to him? He did not. Good pitch. 1-1.
That's the same one that Harrison didn't get earlier. Yeah. I mean, it's the same pitch. It's not that they're calling it one way and not the other.
Yep. One out here in the top of the fifth. 9-0. 8:42 on the Swatch watch. Here it comes. That's in there for a called strike. Good pitch. Just a little bit more in on the plate than the previous one.
I was going to say it was a great adjustment by Mason. It was the exact same pitch, just a ball in.
Yep. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Freeman. And backwards K. He had him froze up. And that's strikeout number 8 for Mason Moore. He is dealing right now. And this is another pinch hitter. This is Liam Bright, who came in to pitch. He's in the 9 hole for the catcher Lee Catt, who was ejected earlier for arguing balls and strikes. 2 outs, top of the fifth. Here's the pitcher now, Liam Bright. Moore looking back, and a called strike on a fastball in there. He's actually looking over his right shoulder, kind of peeking over to first base.
But neither one of them you can see the runner.
Right.
Neither one of them.
Here's the 0-1.
I always wonder what they're looking at because there's no way his right eye can't. He can't.
Called strike. Off-speed delivery is nasty stuff. We've talked about his ball movement, Keith, how much it moves, and it sure is special.
It's tough in high school to hit it.
He's got 8 strikeouts. Now he peeks completely over and checks the runner. That's more like it. Here's the 0-2. Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bulldogs need 1 run in the bottom of this stanza as it sits right now to get a run rule victory. Wind still blowing across the field from left foul pole to right foul pole. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And he's tagged out. Strikeout number 9.
1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base
for Mason Moore.
Can have another walk-off here, can't we?
Sure can. There was 1 hit. They left a man on base. They've only left 3. And the Bulldogs a chance to win it here in the bottom of the fifth. Carnes, Pettigrew, Cole due up for Greenwood. Tonight's game being brought to you in part by our Dugout Club sponsors, Anchored Hope, Bin Sanitize, that's B-I-N, as in a trash bin, love it. Boondocks, Farmers Bank, Greenwood Express Lube, Liberty Roofing, Oak Bauer Pest Control, West Ark Plumbing, Ronnie Terry Roofing, and our Grand Slam sponsors, J&H Automation Solutions, Craig Gigerich State Farm Insurance, Ducks Body Shop, Freedom Roofing, MSG Waste, Shirley's Tax Services, Taylor Family Vision, Top Notch Roofing, Virtue Energy Services, and Webb Energy Resources. Appreciate Mr. Michael Webb. Always. Basketball banquets April 15th, by the way, here at the Greenwood Student Union at 6 o'clock. That's a Monday night. Hopefully your taxes will be paid. If you got a refund, bring some of the money up, put it in the donation box. We'll be taking up money for the Booster Club. At the gate, having barbecue, game day barbecue will be cooking. My man Tom Edelman should be good, so y'all come eat and enjoy the night as we celebrate the girls' state championship and look back on the first year of Coach B.J. Ross. Enjoy the night, fellowship, and camaraderie. And maybe I'll have a zinger or two behind the mic.
You will.
Here's Grant Carnes and Liam Bright back to work. And the first one's outside of breaking ball to Carnes, ball 1.
Your wit is quick and unmatched.
I'm telling you. I appreciate it.
Unlike your short game.
Right. Carnes reached on an error and an RBI single and reached on a fielder's choice. That one's outside 2-0. Scored a run in the second. Called strike. 1 ball or 2 strike or 2 balls, 1 strike. I'll get it. Here it comes. Outside. 3-1. Pettigrew on deck, and then Jackson Cole. 1 run can win it for Greenwood here. Here's the 3-1. Walked him. Carnes will reach base. He represents the winning run. How quick do you put him in motion if you're Brandon Brewer, the head coach for Greenwood?
Before the third pitch.
Time is asked for as Carnes
because you got a
unveils
right-handed
all of his
pitcher.
body armor. Go ahead.
You got a right-handed pitcher. You got a new catcher that hasn't been clearly comfortable back there and doesn't have the arm the other one did. So before pitch 3, you get him in scoring position.
And he dekes on the first one. Up pops the catcher and a called strike. Good pitch. That's Graham back there now catching for Harrison. 1 out. I'm sorry, 1 strike. The count. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Leadoff walk for Carnes. They throw over and he jogs back in. The slow trot. Crockett, their first baseman, holds. Liam Bright's up on top. And there's Petty. Rips one out to left center. Carnes on his horse. Got by the center fielder. Carnes going to score easily from first base. And the Bulldogs are going to walk it off on Pettigrew's walk-off double here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Carnes will score from first base. And the Bulldogs win the second inning of this doubleheader 10-0 in run rule fashion over the Harrison Golden Goblins. And the Bulldogs get the sweep here at home. And they move to 5-1 in conference, 12-4 overall. Fantastic work and an amazing 180 from game 1 and a 1-0 extra inning victory to a 10-0 run rule game. And the Bulldogs flex their muscle here in the nightcap against these Golden Goblins.
Well, you have to take this as a positive because the way it started out, I agree. I didn't know. We weren't sure we were going to take 1, let alone 2. There's still work to be done. You know, that they won the games they were supposed to. They swept at home. That's 2 sweeps in a row at home. Siloam comes to town Tuesday. You have to get another sweep. They're at the bottom. I mean, that's a no-doubter, but you have to get better to where you're affecting it. You're not just relying on walks. Walks are great and stuff, but walks don't win you championships when people's best pitchers are pitching.
True.
We missed way too many fastballs. Got to get better at that. Defense, we got to shore up defense a little bit. But, I mean, it's stuff you can work with. And the schedule lines up perfectly to where you can play tough early. Then you got a couple now you can work on some things. And especially it being right after Easter, having the weekend off. And now you get back to work against Siloam, and then you have the tough part of your schedule.
Well, looking through here, the Bulldogs, not a whole lot of hits. Morgan Brady was 1 for 2 with a walk. He had an RBI single. Just kind of scattered. There's an RBI single for Zitzman, and he also had a walk. He reached on a fielder's choice, so he was 1 for 2 as well. Let's see. There's a single for Cole, was 1 for 2 with a sac fly. He scored a run. But the deal of the night was Mason Moore. He was spectacular. 9 Ks. Let me check on that for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strikeouts from Moore on the night. 19 Ks for Greenwood pitching tonight. So another nice job on the mound for the Bulldog pitchers. And Moore only issued 1 base on balls, I believe. Yeah, 1 walk. And only gave up 2 hits tonight to Harrison bats. So a fantastic 5-inning performance for Mason Moore tonight. The Bulldogs win 10-0 in a run rule victory in the nightcap over Harrison. They have Southside, you said, Saturday, the next game for the varsity boys.
Correct.
A Saturday affair. Is that up at Southside at the
Yeah, that's at
Club?
Southside.
Okay.
That's Southside. Now, the JV will play Thursday. They'll play Subiaco's varsity.
Okay.
The JV will play Thursday. But then, varsity plays. And then, of course, Tuesday, you got Siloam Springs coming to town.
Yep, and that'll be our next broadcast from the radio side. With Siloam will come down next Tuesday for a doubleheader in conference play. Hopefully we all survive the eclipse, and we'll be ready to go on April the 9th for some more 5A West Conference action. Keith, enjoyed it as always,
Enjoyed it, Tim.
Sean Holland produced, engineered. Claire Holland might even help do a little bit of camera work tonight, helping out the old man with the live stream. If you enjoyed the broadcast, Sean's always ready for some donations, for some sponsorship. If you guys want to keep this live stream going, we certainly appreciate any help financially from you folks out there doing all your kind work and supporting Greenwood Athletics and our live stream and radio broadcasts. Appreciate Sean doing all of his work tonight. Michael Ferris made me sound good back at the station, and I certainly appreciate Michael burning the midnight oil for us tonight. The Bulldogs sweep the doubleheader tonight. 1-0 in Game 1, 10-0 run rule in 5 innings here in Game 2. You watched it on YouTube at Greenwood Sports Center, and we listen live on your home for local sports in the Western Arkansas corridor. The Sports Hog 103.5 Fox Sports Radio.